Hi there. We're going to start off today with our foot rolls or massaging our foot with a tennis ball. You can also use a golf ball if you would like. Just the difference in how that feels in your foot and just finding maybe a tender spot where you can gently work it with a tennis ball versus a golf ball maybe is not as gentle for some of those tender spots, but it's still um, a great size to try. If you want to try either one, try to get into your heel, maybe move around into your heel, and then into the front of the foot, into the ball of the foot. So just pay attention. See how that feels today in your foot. We're doing one at a time. So you can also just kind of be aware and compare how it might feel in your other foot as well. So go ahead and try the other foot, rolling forward and back. Maybe you find a spot that, oh, that feels really good. And this also just gives us a little bit of time to bring our focus, our intention to our class, what we're doing, what we're here for, listening to our bodies, and just starting out in that mindset of being aware of what's going on in our bodies. If there's an area that's healing that we're aware of and that we want to take care of it, that we want to bring kindness into taking care rather than frustration or being upset at things that maybe don't work the way they used to work. And that's okay. Just kind of acceptance and then finding those places where we can work. So today, that's what I'd like to emphasize, that we can stretch our stretching, we can flex our flexibility, we can challenge our balance, we can work within where we are, or maybe hover at that edge, the places where we might feel even a little scary. So we have those opportunities to practice in a safe place, those opportunities to explore and maybe even give ourselves the freedom to laugh at ourselves. And while we're working with this tennis ball or golf ball today, if at any point you feel a little unsteady and you want to use a wall or a chair that's close by, feel free to, by all means, because we want to keep the integrity of our alignment and good posture. And this is a balanced challenge. We're standing on one foot and the other one is moving on something unsteady. So that's also creating a balanced challenge, even in a really nice warming up. And this also is relaxing the muscles in the feet, which travels up to the knees and into our hips and through our legs. So it's more than just feeling good to our feet. It's preparing our body for our practice. Maybe if you're in a group setting too, you still have time to get settled into whatever you need to do, things that you might need to have. Another prop we'll use today is a yoga block. And for today, let's use the smaller one. So this one's a 3-inch yoga block with a 3-inch width. And it's just the standard height, about 6 inches. And you can have foam, you can have cork, you can have wood, whatever works for you, whatever you have that's available to you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. In mountain pose or standing tall, we'll bring the block between our thighs. And this is going to just help us as we squeeze it to activate our legs and bring our awareness to there. You'll feel a little more work. You'll feel a little more sensation, and that's okay. And as we're squeezing the block, that moves from the ground up through the legs into the glutes, and that work of rooting down, anchoring down strong into our feet and into our mat. So you want to keep that image in your mind. We're strengthening our strength in our foundation. Heart space is nice and open, and our chin is neutral. So we're not looking down at our feet, and we're not looking up at the ceiling, but just that nice neutral spot. Open out the palms of our hands and do a few shoulder rolls. Scrunch up towards your ears and release back and down. Inhaling as we're lifting up towards our ears, and exhale back and down. Let's do that about 3 more times at your own perfect pace. And we're listening to our bodies. We're hugging the yoga block. And find your breath pattern in through your nose and out through the nose if that's available to you, or it can be out through your mouth. Sometimes that changes in seasonal allergies or things going on around us. And then just change your direction. Take your elbows back, squeeze them towards the wall, and then up and round forward. Squeeze, lift, release. So we're inhaling back, exhale as we round forward. I'll turn sideways and just feel how that allows the heart space to lift and open and then round. So you feel that movement going on in the upper back and your shoulder girdle as we're moving the arms and the entire upper back and chest. Good job. As we come back, standing tall. Palms are open. So just find where your shoulders feel even and relaxed. Let your right ear move towards the right shoulder. So we're lengthening and opening up the left side of our neck all the way down to the shoulder. And if you feel like your neck is tight and you want to round in and look down, maybe just bring it up a little bit away from your shoulder. So you can still keep your chin a little more neutral, or if you even step back towards the wall, you can use the wall as a guide to help you feel where you are in space, where your head is in relationship to that shoulder, where your ear is, where the head is, where your chin is, and still finding that nice tall posture. Good. And then back to center and to the other side. And exhaling when you find that edge where you feel like, okay, that's as far as I can go today. That's okay. We're flexing our flexibility. We're strengthening our strength. Keep squeezing our block. Feel that strength in your legs fires up. And yet we're rooting down and staying strong in our foundation and our feet. And then back to center. Nice. Let's interlace our fingers and turn our palms out. And just focusing our eyes softly onto the back of our hands. We can have a little micro bend in the elbows and slowly lifting, tracking our movement with our eyes as we're taking the arms up. And again, can have a little bend. Find where that edge is for you, where you feel like that's as far as you can go. Then we can straighten arms or just bend and let your hands come towards your head. And we can also be aware of how far we want to lift the chin. If we have any pressure or dizziness in the head or pressure behind the eyes or in the ears, we can bring our chin more neutral and lift the arms. So just find where that is for you today. Stretching your stretch, but also aware of where you are and what is best for you today in your body. Taking another breath here. And exhaling, chin to neutral, and bring the arms down about halfway. We'll bring our hands in towards the chest. Elbows squeeze towards your back. Take 2 more breaths here. Can be in through your nose, out through your mouth. Or maybe even in through your nose, keeping the mouth closed as you exhale. Just try it. Feel that difference. On our next exhale, let's tuck the chin in. Pressing our chin towards the base of the neck, towards the base of the throat. We're opening up the back of our neck. And then come back to center, neutral chin, release the hands, open up the arms. Inhaling, lifting, maybe looking up. Exhale to a side stretch. We're bringing right arm down, left arm over left ear. Let your long arm can just kind of hang there or dangle, and open and closing fingers. Relax into your hand. Still rooting down through the opposite foot. Come back to center and repeating to the other side. Create length and height first, and then over the ear. One more breath. Good. Back to center. We'll bring our hands behind our back. And for today, let's bring fists into the lower back. So we're making fists. We're going to press into the low back. And then squeezing our block. Keep hugging it. So we're really increasing the energy, the sensation, the strengthening, and we're keeping the glutes engaged. And we're also just, as we're hugging the block, those are the inner thighs, the adductors that are hugging and working. So we're strengthening our strength of our legs. And this is really, we're going to do a little gentle back bend, but our back bends all start with the lower body being fully engaged and taking our gaze to neutral, eye level, and then up, letting the chin lift, open up the front of the neck, the throat. And breathe. Maybe it's about 3 more breaths in through our nose. Exhaling out through your nose or out through your mouth. Maybe count to 4. Exhale on 4. Just an equal ratio of our inhale to exhale. One more breath. Keep hugging your block. Back to center and neutral. And we're coming to a half forward fold. So we're hinging from our hips. And even tuck our hands into that hip crease. And bringing our head in line with the shoulders, in line with the hips. So we want to look like an upside down L. And I'm squeezing my block still. Checking in, can balance on all 4 corners of the feet so that we can figure out where our weight distribution is in our feet. Keeping that even. And just pausing here. Finding as much length as possible up the back of the legs, behind the knees especially, and the hamstring origin, where the hamstrings connect up at the very top of the leg. Those are areas that we just have tendency to be a little extra tight there. Find a little more length. Good. And with our breath awareness, inhaling, we can let the belly relax and fill with air. Exhale and draw in the abdominals. So you want to squeeze and pull up. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, pull in. And again. One more. Nice. We're going to bring our hands back to the knees and start to bend and let your bottom sink back like we're in a little chair. Tuck the tail. Then letting our chin round in. So we're making our spine really nice and long. This is getting a little more flexibility here in our back. We can hug the elbows. Let the chin feel soft. And then maybe even slowly nod our head yes. Shake our head no. The arms just hang loosely and move a little side to side. So this is also a place where if you feel any dizziness at all, you want to bring in a chair. You can have a chair right here or in the back of your couch or a bed just to touch base, to regain a sense of steadiness so that we can focus in on the beauty of the stretch, the lengthening into our back, strength that's still going on in our legs. And just slowly start to round your back to lift, straighten legs, draw your belly button in towards the spine, and roll up one vertebrae at a time. We come back to stand tall. Let's inhale, we'll open the arms out and up, and move on into chair flow. Bring the palms down and back. Inhale, sweep the arms tall. Exhaling, palms down and back. So keep going at your pace, but let's focus in on our alignment. Let's keep hugging the block. That's going to keep our knees centered forward rather than letting them cave in if they start feeling tired, and that can happen so easily. Or if our knees are hurting, we're just giving them a little bit of extra assistance in keeping them centered, strong. Our feet can balance on all four corners of our feet, maybe even lift your toes. So that's just an option if you want to try that. And that also impacts where our weight distribution is focusing in on our feet. So we're just really moving up and down, taking our hips back or our bottom back or your tailbone towards the wall while we continue to hug our block, strengthening those legs, strengthening inner thighs. Keep sweeping tall, big full range of motion movement with the arms, working with our breath. Big inhale, exhale. Let's do two more. On our last one, we're going to move into a chair twist. Hugging the block, we're going to twist to our right, bringing in prayer hands, bring them towards the heart. You can hold here and then move your elbows to the right, taking our gaze that direction. You can look down to stabilize our balance, out just for a gentle approach, or up or back for more balance option challenges. Let's continue to hug the block. So again, that's really going to reinforce the alignment of our knees and keep the legs strong and working. And yes, there's a little more sensation. And if this is an area where you feel like your twist is easy to get to for you and you want to sink a little deeper, can bring your elbows to the outside of the knee or add a shoulder opener, touching left hand to the outside of the right leg, right into your heart. Lift your elbow. So maybe you want to just have your elbow, your hand to your hip, or add a complete opener, reaching tall. So there's just options here. You can explore what is best for you today in your body, increasing, opening up heart space, flexibility, strength, and balance. And release. Reversing, we're going to slowly lift, draw the belly in, and we're coming up one vertebrae at a time. Stack all of those joints, ears over shoulders, over hips, over knees, over the ankles. Find your neutral chin, inhaling and lifting, or exhaling, prayer hands to heart. We're going to be twisting to our left. So taking our gaze that direction first. That helps stabilize our twist, then moving the elbows. So just depending on where you are in your twist. Maybe you're up a little taller. That's okay. Let's find the nice straight back and shoulders are still open. If you feel like you're really scrunching to twist, relax this ear to shoulder, a little more space. Hugging the block. So I'm going to lift and just come up a little taller in my twist. can even just relax your top arm, your left arm, if you want to bring that hand to your hip. So we're creating that space and bringing more awareness into what that feels like, what that openness feels like. And then the option to go into the twist a little more if you want to, or shoulder opener, hand over heart, elbow lifting, and then you just unhinge, reaching tall. There's a shoulder opener, and this is also the same thing, bringing our hand to our hip. If you've got any restriction or healing going on in your shoulder, your bicep, tricep, elbow, any of those areas, this is still creating that same open space. You can see that. So we enjoy and embrace where we are for today. Nice work. Releasing to a half forward fold. Let's find that length in the back of the legs again. Spine is nice and long. Crown of head to tail. And breathe. So maybe you even feel a little out of breath. Inhale, big. Exhale. Squeeze your belly in towards your back. Inhale, big. Exhale, draw in. Keeping our head above the heart, which is our inversion for today. That's the depth as far as we're going in our inversion, but we still have the benefits. The benefits of the length, the benefits of just changing up the gravitational pull on the abdominal organs. Always a benefit. And release. Bend the knees. Can tuck the tail, draw your belly in. Nice and strong. Press down through your feet. Rising tall. Nice. Well, inhale, sweep arms tall. Exhale, hands into heart. Very good. Let's go and take our block down to the mat. Let's lay it flat so that this side is on the floor. And we're going to use it in another stretch for our legs. We're going to step the right foot up and bring your left hand to the wall if you want to use a wall for support, and right heel to the floor. And we're going to step our left foot back. So we're finding a warrior one stance with our back heel flat, and our hips and shoulders are squaring forward. This is a really good stretch for the back of the calf, into the heel, into your Achilles. So if this is an area that you're taking care of or healing, and you would like a little gentler version, bring your foot down to the floor and take away the block. So you still have the benefits of that same stretch. So in this position, whether your foot is flat or elevated, we're going to find a half forward fold again, bringing your hands to your hips, or you can use your fingertips into your hip creases, so that helps just direct our hips back. And just come to almost a half forward fold. Nice. Keep the spine long. And breathe. So if you have your foot flat today, maybe take your yoga block here, place it on your low back. So that's going to help us with finding where our hips are. And if we're twisting into this or have our hips just a little bit wonky, your yoga block is going to shift around. But we want to find where our yoga block is level and balanced on our back. And if you have the opportunity to see a mirror, you can also see that. Go ahead and start to lift, drawing your belly in, engage the core. We'll switch sides. Take the right foot back. We're bringing our block right in front, flat, that middle setting or that middle height, and left foot. Left heel to the mat. We're starting there. And again, options to switch it around. finding that freedom and that permission to do what's best for you and your body today, especially if you're healing. We want to be kind and aware. So maybe the foot is flat. And find your half forward fold. And then finding where our feet, still feeling your weight even in both feet, can work within that space, maybe a little micro bend in the knee. And then as you start to come back to standing, we're drawing in and coming up. Good, so that's a lot of stretching on the back of our legs. Let's go ahead and come back into our first position, our mountain pose, standing tall, inhaling and lifting. Exhale, hands into heart. And then from our mountain pose, just a gentle standing twist. It's an opening. Can bring your right arm out, lift your left foot, back to center, and then lifting right foot open out the left arm. Then focus with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Looking back towards the corner of your mat. And you can look down to stabilize, or you can look up. Challenge that sense of balance, our inner sense of balance, and our gaze, our focal point impacts the steadiness. And on days sometimes where your allergies might be kicking in, that's so important to be able to give yourself that freedom to focus your eyes differently, focus down to stabilize. If you have extra congestion and dizziness going on, that's just a really, really great tool. Okay, so from the top of our mat, let's step our right foot back. Lift the heel. We're going to inhale, arms tall. Exhale, hands into heart. Inhale, open right foot out. Lifting arms to shoulder height. Right arm in back, left arm in front, and left knee is bending. So here we're going to remember to stack the knee directly over the ankle or above the ankle. And if at any point we're taking care of knees and we need to bring a little grace there, can straighten that leg. It's finding where we can bring our shoulders over the hips, standing tall, strong, or hands to hips. Again, that's another opportunity to still keep heart space open and shoulders open away from ears, but still take care of arms, any areas that are healing. We're looking over the front arm or towards the front of our mat. And then turning that palm up or tilting the elbow. Taking our gaze up to challenge our balance. Maybe it's to the wall. Maybe it's just to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Maybe that's a good place for you to hover today, focusing your eyes there. Steady and strong. And then back to left arm to our left thigh. Right hand, either our hand to our hip, stack those shoulders right above each other, or maybe add your shoulder opener. Lift your elbow, unhinge. Freedom and nice big openness, spaciousness, and then range of motion. We're circling an option, tracking our movement with our eyes. One direction, then the other. Let's bring the right arm over the right ear and extend. Side body, huge lengthening from the fingertips all the way to the outside edge of that right foot. Stretching our stretching ability. Lengthening the length. Good, then let's sweep that right hand over to the hip. Draw your belly in. So it's like a drawstring, cinch cord. Pull in as you're lifting. We'll turn and turn both feet out to the long edge of our mat for a standing straddle. So we're going to do a couple of different options here. Either start with your fingertips here into your hip crease, like you're tucking your shirt in, and then take your hips straight back. We're going to bring our hands to our thighs, pausing here, or yoga block can make our arms longer. And the benefit of that, and really the intention and the goal, is so we can get a little more straightness in our legs. So from your straddle stretch, check in your knees. And if this is where you find you are, maybe bring your block here about middle and about 18 to 20 inches from your feet. And see if you can get a little more flexibility behind the knees. See if you can lift your tailbone. This is another place where we can use a chair. A chair brings us up to the next level, to where we can still find that stretchability in the back of our legs. We can still stretch. We can't change our bone length, but we can lengthen our muscles. And that's going to create less pain, more freedom in our bodies. So we walk the feet in, you can come into a gentle forward fold, tuck in the tailbone, tuck in the chin. Let's make our spine nice and long. Hug the elbows, move a little side to side. And then we're reversing, bringing our head just to the shoulders, looking out in front of our mat. And focus our eyes as we start to roll up to standing, inhaling and lifting. Exhale, hands into heart. From the top of our mats, let's step the left foot back. Finding a lunge where we're lifting our heel. Inhale, reach the arms tall. And then pivot out with the left toes. Take the left arm and back. Stack that right knee directly above our ankle. Grab my yoga block. So right toes point to the short end, front end of our mat. Left foot to the long side of the mat. Those toes are pointing out. It's a big hip opener, but it's a leg strengthener too. As we root down through the feet, you feel those legs are getting tired probably by now. Engage the glutes, draw the belly in. Arms can go at shoulder height or hands to our hips. So this whole entire heart space stays open with our chin neutral. Just even holding this position for longer periods of time can deepen our strength, our flexibility, and our balance. All three. Those are the elements that we bring into our practice on the mat, along with our breath, our focal point. Good, then adding our gaze towards the front, over the right hand. Breathing, each exhale, draw the belly in. And reverse, right palm up, taking our gaze up. Find a focal point where you can still maintain your alignment, your balance, the flexibility, the strength. So if you're feeling wobbly and want to focus your eyes down, you can focus your eyes and see where that brings stability into your posture, or maybe don't take your arm up as high. Your back arm can reach back for more counterbalance, less, or even quite a bit more or less if you want to take the arm behind your back. A little more balance challenge there. Working our balance. Everything we're doing. Flow from the core. Bringing right arm to the right thigh. Left hand can come over the heart or to your waist. So There's that beautiful stacking and still keeping heart space open. Unhinge. Circle forward and back. Just keep rooting down through the feet, almost like you feel like you could spring away from your mat with that energy that you're creating. And then we're going to extend over left ear. Lengthening our length, stretching our stretch, flexing our flexibility. Beautiful. And then bringing left hand to our hip. Draw the belly in, lifting, and into our pyramid pose, where we're going to turn to the front. We're going to use our block here as an option. Press the right foot, ball of the foot onto our block, and a half forward fold. Or can bring the block onto our back. The foot is flat. We're pressing down evenly through both feet. And then just turning and spin all the way out. We can walk our feet wider apart for our standing straddle. And we can come to a half forward fold here with our hands to our thighs, or block, or a chair, whatever works for you here, to find length through the back body. The back of the legs, the knees. Breathe here. Belly inflates like a balloon on our inhale. Exhale, squeeze and draw in. Let's do 3 of those. And again, our exhale can be out through the nose or out through the mouth. Slow and steady. Strong and focused. Nice. We start to bring our feet in, heel toe, heel toe. And then from here, we're going to use our yoga to come down to the mat. To move mindfully from mountain pose, step back into a lunge. So 1 foot in back, 1 foot in front. You can take care of knees if that's an area that is healing. We're going to bring our hands to the front knee, both hands, and start to bend the back knee. Let it come down to the mat. And this is where we can add padding underneath the knee, or double our mat if we want to come back onto both knees. So just create a fold, like a pleat right here in your mat. We're going to end up on both knees, both hands flat, so we're on all fours. And then swing your feet around and take your bottom back towards the floor. Then when you're on your bottom, bring your legs out in front. So it's so nice to be able to move mindfully with balance and flexibility. Getting up and down from the floor is important no matter our age, especially if we're in a fall risk category. That's an area that will help us if we practice safely. Use a chair, using folded up towels and blankets to help us come up and down from the floor is so important. And so today, sitting tall and seated staff, extending legs out in front to the short end of your mat. Find your sits bones. So move around a little side to side. Move any tissue out of the way. Any of that stuff. So find that bony part of your bottom. And instead of sitting, collapsing, letting your shoulders kind of tuck in, chin might even be looking down. Let's find as much length as possible. Sitting tall, bring chin neutral. And you're going to find where you're literally more balanced on those sits bones Whereas when you round, your tailbone sinks closer to the floor. And the entire pelvic floor is more collapsed and saggy. So sitting tall creates more toning for the pelvic floor. And it's also just creating that beautiful length of the spine. You can draw your toes back and flex just to keep lengthening behind the legs, the calves up here into the heels. You can point and flex, alternating. So we can't change the length of our legs. I can't change. I have short legs. I have a long torso. I can't change those proportions. I can't change my bones. But I can work on my flexibility. I can work on the strength. And I can work on the balance, no matter my age. And really, no matter what other issues are going on in my body, if I can pay attention, be fully present, let go of any expectations or comparing to what I used to be able to do, and just do the best I can for today. So we're going to do another half forward fold. You can bring the arms tall, and then exhale, hands down. Bring the shoulders forward. If we were standing, here we would be again in that half forward fold. Focusing in with our breath, big breath in. Maybe even a lift or more expansion, and exhale, sink. You can even exaggerate with a little ha through your mouth. Inhale in through the nose and a little ha. Exhale. Ha. Good job. Two more. And one more. We'll slide our right foot in, bring the knee in into figure four. So we're going to bring our hands just around this right leg, wherever you are. And so maybe around your knee and around your foot, or if you want to bring it in closer, can hug in a little closer, just like we're holding a baby. We're going to rock the baby, but find that length again through your spine. So if you're finding that you want to sag and round in, turn sideways. If we're rounding in, intentionally lift, and maybe you find less flexibility in bringing that knee in, but find your posture and alignment. So remember that element of alignment, sitting tall, chin neutral. Bring that awareness even into our stretch. So better is always better. Not how deep or how close you can come into a forward fold or into a hip opener like this. Let's cross over, right foot over left knee. And again, sit tall, crown of head to your tail. We're going to look to the right. Bring your right hand behind you, like a little kickstand. And then we're taking our gaze towards the right side of our mat or towards the right corner. Take a couple of breaths here. Then we can bring that right knee in towards the left ribs. Each breath, really try to bring your awareness into compressing. Draw the belly in. It's like a set of bellows. Inhale, exhale, squeeze all the air out. Find a little more space for that right knee to come across the body. And a little more detox benefits of a twist, as well as the stretching. Nice. And then switching sides. Figure four left leg. And again, bringing that left foot in. Each hip may feel a little different, so we're operating within the space individually. What is best for you today is sitting tall, cradling the baby. And at the same time, as we breathe, if you find a little more flexibility, we're not trying to push or force our way into that, but rather it's breathing, it's awareness, and it's feeling that go ahead from within rather than comparing or trying to force. And then cross over. We're hugging the left knee. And again, sitting tall, find that length first, and then taking our gaze to the left side. Left hand comes behind us. It's our little kickstand to support. Maybe looking towards the left corner or the left side of our mat. Then left knee, if that works, can bring it in closer towards right ribs with each exhale. And then releasing. We're coming back to center. We're going to move on to our backs and just using our block one more time. Bring it into your mid-back and roll back. You use your left hand. You can support yourself to come down to your elbows and then have your block there behind the mid-back. So about where your bra strap is. And then take the head back, opening up heart space. And this is an option that's called fish. It's really a big chest opener, heart expansion, and it's also bringing the head back. So the head's a little bit lower than the heart. And if you feel any dizziness or any pressure in the eyes at all, please take the block out and just come flat back onto your head. And we can do this as a gentle option. If this feels great for you, if this feels great having the block in your low back, then please enjoy just a resting pose called fish, heart space open. Letting the shoulders relax back and down. So maybe you want to stay here for another minute or two, or you can stay longer as you listen to your body, or just taking 3 to 4 minutes in a final resting pose, resting on your back, feeling how the floor supports you. There's total support under you in keeping joints in alignment. Our head is perfectly stacked over our shoulders, over the hips, the knees, and the ankles. And you've worked hard today. You've stretched a lot in the back of the legs. You've stretched your stretching. You've strengthened your strengthening. You've flexed your flexibility. You've worked hard. So enjoy a little time of rest, of calmness, cooling down, but still staying in alignment while the muscles are warm. So it's just a wonderful opportunity for that alignment principles to just really be reaffirmed in our bodies and in that space. Just kind of check in and scan your body for any tension, tightness, awareness. Not labeling or giving it a number or a judgment. Just letting go and being grateful and thankful for what you've been able to do today in your body. Just take another minute here. you, Jesus. Thank you for our bodies. Thank you for residing within our bodies. Thank you for each muscle you've given us, each bone, each tendon, each joint. Thank you for the gift of time here on this earth. May we glorify you in that time you've given to us, being thankful at all seasons and stages of life, being thankful in all abilities. Thank you for areas that are healing in our bodies, just for the promises of healing, healing even this side of heaven. And then thank you for the reminders that we have to be kind to areas that are healing, to listen to our bodies, to listen to you and to press into you and what you have for us each and every day. As we receive your grace, may we be faithful to extend your grace. Thank you for this time. Thank you for meeting us here on our mats. In Jesus' name, amen. Just starting to wiggle fingers and toes, stretch a little. And when you're ready, you can roll to one side. Using your top arm, press down. Use that arm strength to help lift your head, your upper body. Support with your hands. Coming up to seated. Maybe sitting cross-legged or maybe sitting with your legs straight. Whatever is best for you today. As we sit tall, stack crown of head over the tail, chin neutral. Well, in with some head rolls, circle your head one direction and then the other. Coming back to center, inhale the arms tall. However that looks for you today, bring prayer hands together on our exhale to our heart center. And thank you. Have a blessed day.